fans. Football for breakfast. Why not? Say football star of the city. I like to call it a football star of town, even though I know radius-wise, it is the largest city in the United States of America. You can't get anywhere in just a few. Buckle up and keep it right here on 92.5 FM. It's going to take you 20 minutes at a minimum. And then, 25, 30, 35 has 40, 45 to midfield, basically, to get anywhere around here. But that's okay. I mean, I like a nice, cool, calm drive with no traffic, no knuckleheads pulling in front of you in the left lane, going 10, 12, 15 miles per hour slower, right? It doesn't happen here in good old Jacksonville. But how about this? 9:30 in the morning is Jaguars football. Traditionally, they have not played well against the Rams. They've lost 5 of 6. Trevor Lawrence has actually played well, internationally speaking. In 5 of his 6 starts, he has a quarterback rating of 90+, and as a matter of fact, he's trying to put up a 90+ ball game at 9:30 in the morning, our time, for a 4th consecutive week, if he can get the job done here against the Los Angeles Rams. The very latest as far as injuries, not a drastic change today, really, for either side. There was good news, however, for Duval. Robert Hainsey, limited yesterday, full today. So it appears that he is going to be good to go. And, that's what it comes down to right there. There's so many ways to break down games, right? There's so many different ways to look at it. And that's what has always been the most exciting thing to me, whether it's college or pro. And pro remains the same in my mind, although we've seen some really young quarterbacks knock off some beasts in prime time, some night games as of late. College football, man, that's a totally different animal. It has just become so hard. Frankly, I don't like it. I miss the days of power teams. I miss the days of dynasties. I miss the days of double-figure odds favoring the blue blood. We don't have that anymore. And obviously today we just saw what took place with Kurt Signetti. We'll get to that in just a moment. But when you really break down this football game, okay, I think Jacksonville has an opportunity to slow things down just a little bit and run the football against this Rams defense. This is a good D. There's no question about it. We talked about that yesterday right here on Into the Night. You look at the Los Angeles Rams defensively. They're 8th overall in the NFL. However, they're 15th against the rush. Last week, Seattle was 3rd against the rush. We got into it all week long. The recipe to beat the Seahawks was what? Pass the football. And they did, but maybe not as effectively as you would have liked. And that really becomes the monster storyline now heading into this weekend's game. All of this being discussed, all of this being tossed around, that finally this is the Travis Hunter breakout game. And I loved it because we really hammered it on Tuesday night. We got a lot of response from you, as we always do. And we pride this show on being very interactive with our listeners. Well, Liam Cohen addressed it the very next day. It was almost like a pat on the back for you. We recognized it, we discussed it, and sure enough, just like that, it was discussed the very next day by this very transparent head coach that you have. Los Angeles, 9th in scoring, 3rd in scoring, and 9th against the pass. So, you look at 3 of the 4 really team, marks, grades, if you will, rankings, if you will. They're 3rd in scoring, which is far and away the most important thing to me. Again, I can't figure out why the overall total offense is always the first statistic. It makes no sense. You can pick up garbage yards. You can allow garbage yards in the 4th quarter, but this is the way the NFL does it. And, they're 8th overall with total yards. They're third in scoring, which, again, is the most important average as far as I am concerned, or ranking. And again, they have 15th against the rush and 9th against the pass. So I think they can run the football. Just think about what happens if they can run the football. Then you can get this fearsome foursome, if you will, and this great defensive line in L.A. to not be as potent. And Jared Verse, 9 quarterback hits in his last 2 football games. Brian Young, 7.5 sacks on the season. You match those two up against Walker Little and Anton Harrison, and oh boy, on paper, it's scary. Brother, I want to tell you something right now. That is not a matchup that you want. The pressure last week allowed by the Jaguars, 45.2%. This is according to Daniel Griffiths. Jacksonville only got 9.5% pressure against Seattle. That is very alarming. And as I said, that is more than that. In the month of Halloween, that is a freaking horror story, okay? Right now, the Los Angeles Rams have Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and Jack Nicholson in The Shining on that defensive line. And this offensive line has got to step it up. But that's easier said than done. You know how you fix it? You run the ball. You run it right at them. And then they can't pin back ears and lick their chops and go hit Trevor Lawrence 17 times like Seattle did 1 week ago. That to me is the difference in this ball game. And again, LA favored by 3, your total 44.5. All right, I'm going to take a quick break here tonight because Tim Brando's going to join us. We're going to talk some college football with Timmy B. Kurt Cignetti gets an unbelievable deal today at Indiana. The entire landscape in college football as far as coaching needs to change. These salaries are out of control. They really are. And, I don't want to make Indiana the example, but I guess I just did. And I respect Cignetti. The guy's 17 and in what? He's 11-1 in the Big Ten. I think he's 17-2 in 1.5 years. He took a 10-2 Indiana to the playoffs last year. He's 6-0 this year. He knocked off Oregon on the road. But I just hate where it's all going in college football with just paying these coaches way too. It really does hemorrhage the college, hemorrhage the university. Now, the Florida Gators can get out of it. That's $20 million. That's a drop in the bucket for Bull Gators. But it's not for other universities. So we'll discuss that coming up as well. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Each and every night we certainly love talking about them, and they're so good at what they do. Here's the deal. If you need surgery, whether you want something that is, a want, which would be laser eye surgery, or it's a need, that there's something going on, maybe refractive surgery that is being called upon, or cataract surgery, regardless of what it is, you're talking about 37 years worth of experience with Dr. Neil Shmunez, Catherine Shmunez, and John Hunt. Those 3 doctors, more than 37 years of experience. Plus, they'll answer each and every single one of your questions. That's the best part of it. Go to Shmunez Vision, and you can check them out as well online at Shmunez Vision and on Instagram at Shmunez Vision. All right, busy hour. Tim Brando up next, some college football. The Philly Godfather is going to break down 4 huge games this weekend, 2 in college, 2 in the NFL. That's all coming up in hour number 1 alongside Dylan Denmark. I am the truth teller, Rick Ballou.
Number 9 opens up his teal and black bag of memories.
Let's go, Googans! Let's go, Googans!
David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Mondays on 1010XL. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida.
Hey, First Coast, it's your boy Leon Searcy, your lemon pepper guy. Back and better than ever for Wingstop. You know I can't resist those crisp, flavorful wings that make your taste buds dance. Wingstop just opened a hot new spot on Jeremiah Street in Middleborough. There's 17 locations now serving up the most mouth-watering wings in town. And my all-time favorite, lemon pepper. Try their new quick and easy ordering on the app and swing by today for fresh, hot wings made for you. Only at Wingstop.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season is finally here, and with that, hopefully comes cooler weather. And if you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask. So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. We'll get there in just one moment. Let's make our way to beautiful Minnesota. Talking about a Big Ten matchup. How about 4-2 Minnesota against 25th ranked Nebraska, who's 5-1. Our friend Tim Brando will have that for you coming up tomorrow night on Fox at 8 o'clock our time. Timmy B, always a pleasure.
Yeah, hey Rick, we got a great weekend of college football, and this is I'm just going to say it. It's more than a sneaky good game. Mm-hmm. It's potentially a great game, a game that I think in a couple of weeks, when people begin to realize how good Nebraska can be, they're going to be saying, we weren't talking about them at all about 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And now look, And I think that in a lot of ways, the only way Nebraska was going to be discussed was if Matt Rule's name came up for the potential of going to Penn State, which should tell you how the national media absolutely does not cover the totality of college football the way it should be covered. Nebraska has won 2 games coming from behind to win, something they've not done in years in Lincoln. Okay, they've done it this season, and I don't know that they've reached even close to their full potential. I mean, if they win this game tomorrow night against a team that's really tough to beat at home, I mean, P.J. Fleck's beaten Nebraska 3 straight years. People are going to start taking notice, and I think they're going to be a little late to the party in the national media because everyone's more concerned about coaching openings for next year than they are about the season this year.
I was wondering when's the last time that a quarterback at Nebraska, in this case Dylan Raiola, had 16 touchdown passes at this point in the season.
Yeah, and they overcame 3 pass interceptions last week and won that game on the road against a good Maryland team. A Maryland team that in Malik Washington has one of the best young quarterbacks, freshman quarterbacks in the country. And by the way, that's another sneaky good game over the weekend, by the way, in the Big Ten. UCLA hosting Maryland. I mean, that's going to be, who knows what might happen in that game late at night on FS1 on Saturday night. We've got a tremendous weekend of college football games. When you think about the third Saturday of October, the greatest intersectional rivalry that Lincoln Riley, for some ungodly reason, is thinking about getting rid of after 100 years, since 1926, between Notre Dame and USC, the 20th anniversary of the Bush Push game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a marvelous weekend. But, yeah, Dylan Raiola is a big-time talent and is now able to overcome his own mistakes, okay? 4 touchdown passes, 3 picks in the same game, and they're on the road, and they happen to come away with a victory in a game they were 2 touchdowns behind in. I mean, that should tell you something about him. You know, we had him 2 weeks ago against Michigan State, and he was really struggling to get protection in that game. And so they identified some of the issues that they had at offensive tackle, and they've repaired them. And like I said, this is not going to be easy, though, against Minnesota because they're really good at home, and they win close games here. You know, they win 8-9 games, it seems, for P.J. Fleck every year. And in Drake Lindsey, we've got one of the top freshman quarterbacks in the country. Again, another kid that not anybody's really talking about, but he's going to be the quarterback here for a long, long time. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman out of Arkansas that a lot of people in that state are pissed off Bobby Petrino didn't recruit.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Bobby's back, and we'll see if he gets that gig. Who knows? I mean, one of many jobs that's open this year.
Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened.
Yep. Tim Rando, our guest, got a big one tomorrow night. Fox Sports at 8 o'clock. It is Nebraska visiting Minnesota. Again, Nebraska, 25th in America. Minnesota, right there on the cusp. They are 4-2. All right, so Kurt Cignati gets the big deal today. You know, all the talk around here is that, and it's bizarre because it's now been reported, you know, several places that win or lose, Billy Napier is going to be shown the door after the Mississippi State game. And my question to you, Tim, would be, if he's going to get fired, why didn't they already do so? Why are they going to wait a week and send out a lame duck, and if he wins or loses, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, you know, I think this race to get things first as opposed to get it right is really a little bit out of control, don't you? I mean, I think everyone's quick now to think that it's fashionable to just go ahead and get it done, just to get these guys out of here immediately because of the portal and the transactional versus transformational period that we're in college football. I think you got to remember now, Scott Strickland hired this guy, and Strickland stood by him a year ago. I don't see any reason. I mean, if Florida were to win this game, I don't know. I'm not ready to just say, oh, yeah, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Now, published reports, and some of the reports are coming from credible people in some people's minds, but I just think it's taking over the sport now in terms of what gets clicks as opposed to what real news is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're halfway through a season. These games now are beginning to really define who these teams are. And wasn't it about, help me out, wasn't it about this time a year ago he was done?
Oh, yeah.
Cooked? Yeah, and then what happened?
Beat Mississippi, beat LSU, beat Florida State. Yeah.
Every time you start burying these guys, especially Billy, it seems like there's some resourcefulness in the team. And I just know Scott Strickland well enough to know that, yeah, like you said, if it were a fait accompli, then he would have already done it by now. So I don't know. I'm certainly in a holding pattern on this. I'm not going to underscore it by giving it any additional credibility. And if whoever began this with some published reports, they want to take credit for it after the fact, I guess go ahead. If that's meaningful to you, go get you some.
I've always pumped you up as a czar or perhaps a commissioner of the great game of college football. We all agree that it's needed. How do you? I mean, is it too far down the road now and the dam is broken and it's never coming back? Or what is your opinion on just the out of control contracts that head coaches are getting in college football?
Well, listen, it's institutional, okay? It's an institutional problem. And it's been this way for quite a while. Long before players started getting paid, the contracts for coaches were being done in such a manner that the universities themselves look like idiots. Okay, when you've got attorneys working for the schools that are allowing contracts to be written that are basically going to hold schools hostage or their donors hostage, what sense does this make? Okay, it's people cry foul all the time. You hear it all the time about, well, I mean, we're paying these guys way too much money. Well, I think the fans have to understand this. Those athletic departments, by and large, especially at the big schools, they're independent businesses. They're not working within the realm of the institution itself. But the institution itself okays the contract. So if Adidas is able to make a phone call and they can say, this is another report that was out this week, that the reason why the Penn State coach is no longer there is because Kraft, the athletic director, was called, and Adidas said, we got to get him out. We got to get him out fast. We got a new contract, and we just invested with you guys over Nike. You got to make this happen. If that's the case, then the schools themselves have only look in the mirror. You found the enemy, and the enemy is you. It's like you got a major university that is allowing this to take place with their school's name all over it, even though that school doesn't have anything to do with the contract whatsoever. And fans fail to understand that aspect of what's been going on, and it's been going on for a long, long time. Remember when your beloved Florida State basically said, Bobby, you're out.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what.
Oh, yeah.
And and the school was able to say, yeah, but it's really not us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're showing you the door, but at that point, we're talking 2000, what? Was that 2009?
Yeah, 8 or 9. His last game was right here. His last game was right here in Jacksonville, I guess, against West Virginia, right? The ball game.
Which makes so when you think about it, it's been going on for a long, long time, and very little's been said about it. The reality is that we're not going to go back, and in many respects, if the school is making listen at places like Florida and places like LSU, other SEC schools, and even in the Big Ten. We're seeing athletic departments that are making so much money that as an act of goodwill, they will then make a contribution to the academic side just to keep the presidents and the professors off their rear ends and let them do their business because they need some money. So they'll take some of that profit and insert it into the academic side. I think in a lot of ways, Rick, fans don't care about it unless, of course, they hear about this exorbitant amount of money being paid, whether it's $75 million to Jimbo or $50 million to James Franklin or whatever, but it's been going on for quite some time.
No doubt. Tim Brando, our guest, got a huge one Friday night. That'll be at 8 o'clock on Fox. Nebraska visiting Minnesota. All right, the good news about you working Friday is you can get back to the Chateau for all of the games on Saturday. Thoughts on number 5 Mississippi going to number 9 Georgia?
You know, I think it's hard to make Lane Kiffin look like the good guy. But I think Georgia and especially Kirby Smart's managed to do that over the past week. By the way, was there anything more embarrassing?
Oh, wow.
Anything more embarrassing than the way that game was officiated?
Awful.
And the lack of transparency on the part of the conference office in the aftermath of it. And the explanation that Kirby Smart gave about the timeout versus the clapping of the defensive players. I mean, come on. And no one calls him on it at all. I mean, nothing. Zero, zilch. But the aftermath of it, I think, has America looking at Lane Kiffin, and they see this wonderful documentary that ESPN did talking about how Lane has changed his colors and what a family man he's become, and there he is. He's suddenly the white-hatted guy, and Kirby's wearing the black hat. You know, and these two guys are old buddies, and both Saban proteges most recently have Nick to thank for a lot of their success. I think that the aftermath of the way the Washington State game went for Ole Miss, and by the way, Wazoo's got talent.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't have Mateer, and yeah, they've got a poor record this year. But they were due for this was a great opportunity for them, and Ole Miss was sleepwalking before a crowd of about half a stadium at Vaught Hemingway. SEC fans, you've seen it, Rick. SEC fans don't show up for non-conference games in the middle of the season anymore. They just don't.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sleepwalking. My daughter was at the game with her husband. They're both Ole Miss grads, and the student body was basically not even there.
Wow.
Just didn't even show up.
Wow.
So I'm not blaming Ole Miss for its listless performance in that non-conference game. I think they bring it. I think they bring everything to this game. And the question will be, can Chambliss continue? Can he continue? Can this kid from Ferris State continue to play up to the level that he played at home against LSU on the road between the hedges of Athens? If he can, I think Ole Miss wins the game.
Final thought. I just received the text right here, right now. Brother Bino's blimp. It is the third. It is the third Saturday in October. You know what that means? That's Bryant-Denny Stadium for Tennessee, Alabama.
Unbelievable, but you know it's not really the same when they play in Alabama because the checkerboard square, the leaves are turning. That's off Cumberland Avenue when they play in Knoxville. It's not really. It's still late summer in Tuscaloosa. Let's face it, okay? But in this case, the thing you got to remember is that Tennessee has as much material and the ability offensively to outscore Alabama. Alabama, by the way, I could say Alabama. I can't pronounce the letter L. Just ask LSU. It's Alabama. So I like a shocking upset, Tennessee to beat Alabama.
Ooh, Brother
Shocking.
Bino. So I got to imagine
Bino,
that is Tim Brando jumping on that as well with the weekly Fly in the Ointment game?
No, I'm going to go into the state of Florida, though, with my Fly in the Ointment game. South Florida and FAU.
Okay.
Listen, I think the potential of two teams, not one, two, group of 5 teams or group of 6 teams, if you want to call it that now, could make the college football playoff. South Florida, despite the loss that they did get, look at the strength of schedule. Right now, I'd put them ahead of Memphis, even though Memphis is undefeated. South Florida will take care of the number against FAU.
There you have it.
That's your Fly in the Ointment game.
It's Tim Brando's Fly in the Ointment game. Hey, he's got a big game tomorrow night, Nebraska at Minnesota on Fox at 8 o'clock. Timmy B, always a pleasure. We'll do it again next week. Have a great call tomorrow night.
All right, Rick, take care of yourself. All the best.
There he goes, Tim Brando, ladies and gentlemen, and the very latest from him. We do appreciate it. Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. Okay, their phone number is 400-6600. Free call, free consultation. If you have been personally injured, all right, and you may be home alone. You may not be able to get to work. Your car could be totaled. You have medical bills. These are the type of questions that you ask attorney Rick Alexander. You're never going to pay out of pocket. He, depending on what's going on with your case and what did occur, he may say, fine, we'll pay for your car to be completely fixed. Sure, we'll pay for your medical bills. You're never going to come out of pocket. What you need to do is pick up the phone and call and take advantage of the free consultation and sit down and talk directly with him about what happened. It's real simple. Alexander Law Practice, that's alexanderlawpractice.com, or call them. You're going to get an immediate call back at 400-6600, and they will certainly give you the individual care and respect that you have earned. Coming up next, the Philly Godfather joins us right here on this Thursday.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like EVO implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
You already know it's your main man E to the T here for Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. And with ball season here, make sure you're on the lookout for my instant reaction before, during, or after the game. All brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts. Come on, somebody.
Poker players, the World Poker Tour is back at Best Bet Jacksonville, October 30th to November 18th, and the guarantees are massive. Event 1 brings a $200,000 guarantee. Event 6 has a $300,000 guarantee, and the main event has an enormous $1 million guarantee. With 14 tournaments, your chances of winning big have never been better. Want in on the action? WPT satellites are already playing out. Don't get left out. Head to bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Knowing it's time to get hurt, lost wages, injuries that not only hurt but hinder our success. If you're in this position due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. Hey, this is Tom McManus. Injuries suck, so check out Morgan & Morgan. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the country. 100 offices, over 1,000 lawyers, with enough firepower to handle any and all personal injury cases. And they make filing a claim easy, and they don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit Pound Law from your cell. Pound Law, that's all.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in Duval!
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Philly Godfather's been on a roll. And we got 4 big ones to start firing on right now. Louisville, University of Miami, Mississippi, and Georgia. And, of course, Indianapolis, LAC, and the Jaguars at 9:30 in the morning against the Rams. Let's bring in the legend and the best-selling author. He is the Philly Godfather. Welcome.
Having me on, Rick. You guys ready to go?
We are ready to go. Tell us how to get your book first, though.
Definitely. You go to phillybooked.com. I'll send you out an autographed copy. It takes about 3 to 7 business days. Or you go to Amazon, ship to order. The book will not be signed, but you might get it tomorrow.
All right. Before we get to the games, I got to ask you, because I'm not too far down the road from where I grew up in Boston, but you had just an awful night with the Phillies losing the way they did, the Eagles losing, even the Flyers, their home opener, dropped one. What was the city like the next day?
It's sad because these people live and die for these Eagles teams. And, you know, for the next 3-4 days, everyone's miserable. You know, people are arguing.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling in Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, I've experienced that in Boston. There's no question about it. Heck, I've experienced it here in Jacksonville. There's no doubt about it. All right, let's get straight to it. Tomorrow night, what a really good game. Friday night, Miami, undefeated. Louisville, a good football team as well. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, originally the line opened up Miami minus 14.5. And we witnessed some sharp money hit the screen on the Cardinals, which forced the odds makers to adjust their price down to as low as 12.5 before it bumped back up to where it sits now at 13.5, pretty much everywhere. The total has also seen some movement, dropping a full 3 points from 53.5 down to 51. And I've even seen some 50.5 as low as 49.5 at a couple shops. When you're handicapping this game, you have to respect the fact that the Hurricanes have the third best odds to win the national championship at 8-1, only behind Ohio State and Alabama. But I'm not looking to lay 2 touchdowns here versus a Cardinals team that ranks top 10 in turnover margin of the season. Rick, I took plus 14 on Louisville here. I know they're coming off the loss to Virginia, but that game, it was a game they should have won. The Cardinals had 11 more first downs, almost 150 more total yards of offense. They won the time of possession battle by almost 5 minutes. It was the 2 turnovers that really sealed Louisville's fate and handed them their first loss of the season. As long as Louisville doesn't turn the ball over 2 or 3 times, I think Jeff Brom's team bounces back this week. Louisville's defense should be good enough to keep them within the Vegas number. Also, if you go under 51 here, you should be able to cash another ticket. Miami has one of the best defenses in the nation, and the Cardinals rank in the top 10 in opponent yards per play. So I like Louisville plus 14 and under 51.
All right. Been an interesting schedule so far for the U. They've yet to leave the state. They won't until November 2nd. Let's get to between the hedges in, Athens, Georgia, Mississippi. Boy, that was a close call last week, and we all saw how just ridiculous the officiating was in that Georgia matchup at Auburn. Thoughts on this game, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, it feels like it's a big number for 2 teams that know each other like the back of their hand. Georgia is currently a 7.5-point favorite. The total is 54, 54.5, depending on who you use. Surprisingly, to me at least, the early bet splits are heavily tilted on Ole Miss at over 80% of the action. But the line isn't budging. It's staying strong at 7.5. I like Georgia here at home, lane 7, if you can find it in the market. It feels like a trap if you're looking to bet on the higher-ranked and undefeated Ole Miss team catching points on the road. Ole Miss has had an issue holding on to the football this season, ranked outside the top 100 in turnover margin. On the defensive side, I give the Bulldogs the edge. Offensively, on paper, Mississippi appears to be stronger, ranked 12th in points per game and 10th in yards per play. But if you look at the opposing defenses they faced this season, like Kentucky, Arkansas, Washington State, those 3 teams rank in the basement of college football in opponent yards per play and opponent points per game. I think Georgia covers the number here, minus 7.
All right. Despite 80% of the bets, it must be a lot of $5 and $10 bets if it's not moving this line at all. Maybe it will move. We'll see. 7.5, 7. You heard the Philly Godfather. Philly Godfather, how can our listeners reach you?
Yeah, you can find me on X at Philly Godfather, or you can go to the website, thephillygodfather.com.
All right, let's get to our 2 games on Sunday. Let's begin within the AFC South. The Colts have been just fantastic so far this year, but they got the long trip to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Your thoughts here?
Yeah, the Chargers are small, 1.5 point favorites at home. The total is set at 48.5. All the early action so far is on the Colts. Over 70% of the early bets in both the U.S. and offshore markets are on Indy. I like the Chargers here on the money line. The Colts' pass defense is really banged up. heading into this matchup with the 6th lowest health score of any NFL team this weekend. Indy has looked great at home. They're 4-0, but the last time they traveled to the West Coast against the Rams in Week 4, they lost 27-20. After 2 straight losses and a narrow win over the Dolphins, this is a great buy low spot for the Chargers. The Colts have played some really good football this season, but they've also been very, very lucky, ranking 4th in luck ratio. I also think the total at 48.5 is a little bit too high. We've got 2 solid defenses here, with the Chargers offense being a little banged up. Both defenses rank in the top 10 in sacks per game. I think you should go under 48 and take the Chargers on the money line.
All right, there you have it. That game at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The other team out in L.A. is in London, that being the Rams, to take on the Jaguars. That'll be at 9:30 our time. In the AFC South, the Rams have already knocked off Houston, Tennessee, and Indianapolis. Do they do the same here against the Jaguars?
Yeah, I'm going to have to set my alarm clock a little early for this one at Wembley. It's a tough game to handicap, in my opinion. Both teams are fairly healthy. The Rams are currently 3-point favorites. There's a few 2.5 still floating around the market. The total sits at 44.5. The early bet splits are basically 50-50. Both teams have identical records. But the Rams had 2 brain cramps this season against Philly and San Francisco. Otherwise, they'd be sitting at 6-0. The Jags rank 5th in luck ratio and 1st in turnover differential, playing some real smart football with quality wins over the 49ers and Chiefs. Jacksonville is coming off a home loss here. Before the season started, the Rams were projected to win 2.5 more games than the Jags, and they still have much better odds to win the Super Bowl at 14-1 compared to Jacksonville's at 45-1. I think the Rams are the better team, but these overseas games are always tough to predict. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm leaning Rams on the money line or -2.5.
Okay. Yeah, and these games have all come under that have been played internationally so far this year, but you like the Rams there, depending on what you can do as far as that point spread when it's all said and done. All right, Philly Godfather, how do our listeners get your best-selling book called Booked?
Yeah, please go to phillybooked.com. I'll send you out an autographed copy. It'll take about 3 to 7 business days. Or you can go to Amazon, ship to order, and you'll probably get it the next day, but it won't be signed.
And the best way to reach you on X or anywhere else?
Yeah, on X at Philly Godfather, and the website is thephillygodfather.com.
Always a pleasure, Philly Godfather. Best of luck with your plays.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes. Philly Godfather right there, just laying it down. Boy, he likes laying the 7. Okay. Georgia, Mississippi. He's going to grab the 14 with Louisville. 70% of the money on Indy, but he's going to stick with LAC. Also likes the under 48.5, and he's going to play the Rams here. We've seen it at 3. We've seen it move. He said the money was 50-50. Let me see here. The latest I have it at is, well, it's 2.5. So there's been obviously a little bit of money on Jacksonville. The total standing remains at a standing 44.5. And I was reading today earlier, Dylan, that so far these international games, the unders come in on every one so far this year.
Yeah, I may not have to look too far. The Jets-Broncos was 11-10 at one point in the second half. It was just terrible. And that's how most games have been, it feels like.
Yeah, so the unders, certainly when I did play, I had far more success playing the total. Playing unders or playing overs. Yeah, I always liked unders the most, just kind of rooting for the clock to tick. And I think it's always been very difficult to pick a side. I think a total is better. It may not mean as much to you because you're either a guy that doesn't care what happens and you want a ton of points, or you are just watching that clock tick away. But, hey, that's all up to you. And we, as always, wish you the very best of luck. All right, 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Welcome to those watching us on YouTube tonight. You can join them 1010XL into the night.
When it comes to your favorite football team, John Osher is oh so sure to find the inside insight to keep you up to date. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views,
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestaProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestaProsNEFlorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros!
Frank Frangie here. Looking for a dealership that makes car buying easy? Let me tell you why Nimnick Buick GMC is the place to shop. At Nimnick, you'll find unbeatable prices, a huge selection of Buicks and GMCs, plus flexible financing that works around your budget. Whether it's a new SUV, a work-ready truck, or a certified pre-owned, they've got you covered. They back it up with trusted service and transparent deals. Don't wait. Shop 24/7 online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit the showroom on Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingJacks.com.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
You deserve something truly exceptional, and that's what you get from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust's 10th Anniversary Jubilee. Come to Tobacco Cove on Saturday, October 18th from 1 to 4 p.m. because you will not want to miss this. From the mind of Steve Saka, Dunbarton offers the taste of perfection. This event features amazing cigars, delightful food, and awesome prizes. Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road. More than a cigar store, it's an experience.
Hey, Jacksonville, Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Oh, this is bad news. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley, one of the founding fathers of the rock band Kiss. He just died at the age of 74. I'm reading here that Rocket Ride, I always thought was one of his best guitar riffs, but he was considered the 14th best heavy metal guitarist of all time. Kiss isn't heavy metal. Kiss was classic rock, right? And they were a gimmick. They spit blood and they blew fire and came in with all of these clogs and costumes. And when I was a kid, I liked them. I think most who grew up in the 70s did as well. But, you know, you kind of like, I don't want to compare them to like the Bay City Rollers or something. Or like, you know, was it David Cassidy or Sean Cassidy or crap like that? But you kind of outgrow Kiss, right? I mean, Kiss had a couple of classics that you still hear, but Detroit Rock City is a really good song, but I don't know. Nonetheless, he had massive amounts of problems, and, you know, he ended up leaving the band, I think, in '84, but he was great growing up. I hate that he died at, you know, the age of 74. That happened moments ago. In Midtown, New Jersey. He's actually from, I want to say he's from the city, you know, right down deep in the bowels of New York City. And that's where, of course, Kiss did form their band. So there you go. I can't go a week without mentioning that someone has passed. Every week, Dylan.
It goes, what was it, a couple weeks ago? You had... They all come in threes, unfortunately. And there was one, it was a couple months ago.
The Rudy Johnson one got me at 45, from Auburn and Bengals tailback. You know, we lost Mike Greenwell at 62 a week ago. That was just terrible. But now it's Ace Frehley, so it's happening all the time. It really is. All right. In our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to bring you in, make you a part of this program. I also want to spend a couple of minutes on what's happening with college football and coaches. I have a few opinions there, and as well want to get back stuff from you on it. Speaking of college football, you know, I understand fans are so intense and so aggressive and so belligerent. But what happened to me is among one of the worst things that has ever occurred to me. If you have not heard, no, I don't have a black eye. My vehicle was broken into again. And you just hate when that happens. You would think it wouldn't with all these surveillance. But someone left me 4 tickets for Florida State Wake Forest after breaking into my vehicle. And I usually don't tell you my plan this far ahead, but I'm going to Vegas for Jaguars Raiders, okay? I'm going to most away games this year, so I would appreciate it if in the future you don't continue to bust in to my wheels.
Pack your passport. Duval Pride takes a ride for a transatlantic showdown as West Coast meets First Coast for some American football at iconic Wembley Stadium. It's tea time for touchdowns with crumpets and football for breakfast.
Jacksonville Jaguars, Los Angeles Rams.
Cheerio. Sunday morning at 9:30 on 1010XL.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. You see that new welcome offer? Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. I think we got to jump on this.
What's John Daly think?
I think you got to grip it and rip it. Grip it and rip it.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Sewer backups stink. Literally. Tree roots, old pipes, or major clogs can be the cause. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining inspects and clears sewer lines fast. If your sewer's backed up, make the Superior choice and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 16, 1971, Artis Gilmore made his debut for the Kentucky Colonels of the ABA against the New York Knicks. The Colonels won by a final of 107-98.
Hey Jacksonville, Rick Ballou here. Small business owners need trucks and vans to keep your business moving? Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside has Ram 1500s to heavy-duty 2500s, ProMasters, and custom uplifts ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go online to jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram Westside, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What a piece, LA, Milwaukee. Actually proud of myself figuring out how to get the TV on and stream. And I'm not joking here. That's a challenge for me. I was joking about the break into my vehicle, and believe it or not, quite a few people are asking me for those 4 tickets.
Because they want so they could sell them.
Man, I spent so much. I spent over $1,000. I showed it to you, $700 to get 2 really good seats for Florida State Miami. And then I purchased 4 seats. Was it the week prior to that when they played East West, Texas, A&M, whatever it was? 4 tickets cost me more than $1,000. So, I've been asked a lot, do you want Florida State to lose at Stanford? Do you want Florida State to lose all these games so you fire your coach? Well, that would be the conventional way of thinking. But what's happening right now at my alma mater is scary. They need every dollar, and they need to sell every beer. If you're not going to the Wake Forest game to make a point, it's really the wrong thing to do. My advice to you would be go, drink a ton of beers, spend a ton of money, and just boo. Just cup your hands and boo, okay? If you are, in fact, unhappy. Steelers-Bengals tonight. Trey Hendrickson out. Pittsburgh favored by 5.5 total, 44 and a hook. That'll be at 8:15 tonight. Day 2 of the injury report. Not a lot has changed for either team. The best bit of news, all right, Robert Hainsey worked in full today after being limited yesterday. Trayvon Walker's second consecutive day he has worked in full. Still limited for Diami Brown with the shoulder and Eric Murray with the neck, okay? No real changes at all. For L.A., Puka Nacua, as we know, still did not participate. Rob Havenstein, I think it's Rob Havenstein, the starting right tackle with an ankle, has not worked in either one of the first 2 days. Linebacker Omar Spites, the starter's gone from limited to full. A backup linebacker, Josiah Stewart, has gone from DMP to full. So a significant change there. Also, Tutu Atwell, who they're going to need. With everything that's going on with Puka, right? I was reading earlier, Devontae Adams had a tremendous amount of success in his career against the Jaguars. So we will see. The Rams have, they're 3-0 against the AFC South. And it's going to be a tough one to really break down. We'll do that tomorrow. We've been talking about it all week, but really get some nuts and bolts in on this tomorrow. And a quick reminder that we'll be with you on Friday from 4 until 6 on AM. All right, that's 4 to 6 on 1010 Friday. We're going to do that for another month or so up until high school football is completed. So during high school football season, again, 4 to 6 on AM 1010. All right. The Napier deal it's really bizarre, and I thought Brando was excellent on it, okay? Just because it's been reported, you know that it's happening. We're in an era now where being first is so much more important than being right. And the bottom line is, if you're wrong, there is no there's no era. There's no discipline. There's no, you're not going to, lose your job. I want to say I was in Chicago when this happened, Dylan, but there was a local TV guy here. I can't remember his name. He's a pretty good guy. But he's the one who went out and said Tebow was signing with the Jags. It ended up costing him his job.
Oh, wow. That's not that long ago.
No. I mean, I was in Chicago, so I'm guessing it was probably 20 years ago or something like that. But and that has happened in news. And that has happened in sports. If you get a major story like that wrong, you had to answer to a lot of people. It doesn't matter who you are now. I mean, I can sit here right now and say Billy Napier is going to be fired Saturday. And if he's not,
nothing happens.
It's a little bit disappointing because I've been doing this for 34 years, but it's just where we are. And it's about being first. everyone's asking me about, Norvell. I reported yesterday they haven't even had a meeting with the prominent boosters, the big money makers in Tallahassee. Now, that's fluid. When they lose at Stanford, that could change immediately, right? But as of right now, as of yesterday, that was not the case. But here's my problem with this, Dylan. If, in fact, this is a true story, all right, why walk out a lame duck? I know you have a bye coming after the Mississippi State game. If you're going to fire him, why didn't they do it after the loss to Texas A&M?
I was saying the same thing last night on Hacker Show, and people were saying, well, if it's weird if he wins tomorrow and you fire him the day after he wins. It's like, that makes no sense. It actually makes more sense to fire him Sunday regardless of the result on Saturday. The interim coach has a bye week to do what he wants to do, and he has a couple of games in the month of November to add it to his resume and do what he wants with the team. That's what makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense to most. I'm surprised it's actually gotten to this. And, we know Scott Strickland has a really good relationship with Billy Napier. We saw it happen a year ago when they flipped the switch. And, I always made the case or the point that, unlike some other universities, kids always played hard for Billy Napier. And I think that is encouraging. All right, on top of that, Kurt Cignati today. 11.6 a year. He's the third highest coach as far as his salary in college football. He gets $92.8 million over the next 8 years. All right, 10-2. Took him to the playoff a year ago, 6-0 this past year. I guess 10-2 must have been regular season. I know. I guess he went, 1-1 or 2? He might have gone 0-1. Actually, I'd have to look back on the playoffs. Sadly, I don't remember what happened in the first round. But he's 6-0 so far this year. Knocked off Oregon a couple of weeks ago in Eugene. But it's completely out of control. These salaries are just destroying football teams. You know what? Indiana's a basketball school. Indiana's been around forever. I would imagine that Scott Dolson, the AD, knew exactly what he was getting himself into. And if all of a sudden things do go south for Indiana, because it's not a football hotbed, then he is going to have to eat up that buyout if it ever gets to that point. $50 million for James Franklin is a huge amount of money, but Penn State's been around forever. Penn State can pay it. Right? Texas A&M can pay it for Jimbo Fisher. If you fire Billy Napier, that's $20 million. That's nothing for the University of Florida. But there are other schools who cannot make moves because of the buyout. And, one of those that you keep hearing about is Florida State. But, by the way, I know it sounds like I have an agenda here because it involves my alma mater. Honestly, I do not. I don't think I would have mentioned this if it weren't for the Cignetti deal that came in today. I honestly do not. So for the most part, I always try to be truthful with each and every one of you, whether you like it or not. But I just think that needs to be calmed down a little bit. I mean, look at these skippers right now. Look at the managers in the National League Championship game. Go to the American League Championship game. Look at these salaries in Major League Baseball. They're getting a couple million a year, the top guys. Okay? I'm not sure what the NBA gets per coach, but I would have to believe that is more because the NBA is always, in my opinion, paid more than any other league, right? That's the way I've looked at the NBA. NHL, not even close, all right? Not even close. There are some pretty large NFL salaries, and, that is something that we have seen grow year to year, and I think most people are able to just deal with it or accept it. But college football is a different breed here. And you're paying the players. They're getting what they deserve. In a lot of cases, they're getting far much more than they deserve. I just hate that a school like Indiana. When I think Indiana, man, I think hoops. I think the Brickyard. I think the Combine. Then the Colts roll in. I kind of think of the old school Baltimore Colts before
Pacers,
I remember.
Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, I think of Louisville Slugger.
Yeah,
and then
Reggie
all of a sudden
Miller.
it's like, come on, Indiana, this is hoops. This is Bobby Knight. You know, this is Isaiah Thomas. And they just paid this amount of money. I am a little concerned about where college football is headed. So right here today now. And, you know, the good news now, and the flip side, if I'm a Hoosier grad, I love this. So you don't have to worry about Cignetti being mentioned at Penn State. You don't have to worry about him being mentioned if the Florida job opens up. I mean, I don't know the particulars in the contract, but I would be shocked if he did this deal today and then turned around and interviewed for a job once the season ended.
Yeah, and well, and also you have another school in the Big Ten that's serious about football. I mean, when USC and UCLA and Oregon and all these new schools joined the Big Ten, everybody thought Indiana is going to be a bottom feeder. Now you got to add Indiana as long as Cignetti is going to be there to one of those teams that's going to be in contention to be one of those automatic qualifiers for the playoff.
So right now, Arkansas is open. Rhett Lashley's a guy they really love. He's a Springdale, Arkansas native. You know, Bobby Petrino's there. I happen to really like Bobby Petrino. But we'll see what happens. But that is a job in the SEC that is attractive. It's a good school. It's a competitive school. But if we were still doing divisions, we're going to have Arkansas basically, what, 4th or 5th yearly in the West. I do understand that they no longer do that. Oklahoma State is open. A really good opportunity there. You know, they've gone from Les Miles to Mike Gundy. What is Oklahoma State going to do when it's all said and done? That is a very winnable conference with Oklahoma and Texas no longer there. Penn State, it just feels like Matt Rule. It really does. And if Matt Rule leaves Nebraska, all of a sudden Nebraska is going to open up once again. Stanford, where Florida State goes this weekend, not a great job because of the academic scenarios, right? One of the few schools still out there that really does stress academics over athletics. Yet if you look at Stanford in the full body, they're always among the Sears Trophy leaders. They get some really good dual individuals who are very smart and also very good athletically. But you got Frank Reich there right now. And Andrew Luck is the general manager. He's running the show. Maybe that's where Tony White goes. There's a lot of Florida State people who believe, actually that's UCLA, that ever since Tony White, talked ad nauseum about the job, instead of just saying, no, I'm not interested, I mean, he gave us his life story, Tony White. He talked about how he was a candidate a couple of years ago before Deshaun Watson got it, and how, I mean, just shut up. Just say you're not interested and you got to coach a game, right? And then if you take the job at the end of the year, no one blames you. But, man, the guy went on. Go back and listen to it. He went on and on and on and on and on and on. I'm like, bro. But that's what happened when they're 3-0. They were invincible. Sure, I'll talk about a job. Stanford is open. UCLA is open. Virginia Tech is open. I mean, there are some big-time jobs already open in college football. And you could have many more, including Florida, Auburn, Florida State. Although I'll be surprised if the latter happens just because they need to, to find some more cash. Who else could be up? Can you think of any other school that could be up against it right now?
Ones. No, not in the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12. I mean, one of the main reasons a lot of these jobs are being open, there was no major job open last year. Yeah. That was why, I was kind of banging the drum for Lane Kiffin to come to Florida because there was no big job that was open a year ago. Every SEC coach came back from a year ago.
Yeah, and I think Colorado is a name you got to look at just because you keep hearing more and more and more about the health of Deion Sanders. He's got one. Listen, I'm a huge Deion guy. If I had my say, I'd do whatever it takes to bring him to Tallahassee. I think he would turn things completely around. But because of his health condition, I think I'm getting to the point now where I would probably have to pass. Anyone else in danger in the SEC before we head to this break outside of Hugh Freeze and, obviously Billy Napier around here? Mark Stoops gets mentioned every once in a while. He's 0-3 right now. Maybe that. The only other one I could see would be if there was a free fall for LSU. It feels like LSU fans are down on Brian Kelly.
You know what the spread is for that Vandy LSU game?
I don't.
Vanderbilt -2.5.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. It's at Vanderbilt.
What am I missing here?
You and me and everyone else are thinking the same thing. It's in Nashville at noon, and Vanderbilt is a favorite over LSU by 2.5 points.
I would have said LSU favored by 4.5, 5.
Yeah, I would have said probably 8.5.
I used to do this all the time. I still do it every once in a while, just, kind of prognosticate out on my own as to what the lines are going to be. But, yeah, I mean, if you just look at an unhappy local fan base with their coach, LSU and Brian Kelly, absolutely. I mean, the guy's 5-1.
Or South Carolina,
yeah,
if they free fall.
Yeah, you know what? And I think he's a good coach. There are just certain places where you can't win. Steve Spurrier couldn't win at South Carolina, right? I mean, Lou Holtz couldn't win at South Carolina. Sparky Woods couldn't win at South Carolina. Same deal here with Shane Beamer. It's just one of those very hard jobs to consistently win in the most difficult conference, not named the Big Ten, in college football.
Open the weekend early with Pre-Game Friday.
Anything you want to add to this?
Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day.
That's all I ever think about.
Pre-Game Friday.
Built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Bari here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Bari Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BariOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Bari Orthopedics.
Tickets are on sale now for this year's Florida Forum Speaker Series featuring professional basketball player Caitlin Clark, Russian politician Vladimir Kara-Murza, and chef Jose Andres. The Women's Board of Wolfson Children's Hospital has committed to raising $1.5 million to support the new outdoor play area dedicated to therapists as an expansion of the 20-bed Wolfson Children's Behavioral Health and Wellness. Get your tickets now by clicking thefloridaforum.com.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out, Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Plan ahead this year and order your home holiday decorating from Kuhn Flowers. They'll take care of all of your Christmas tree setup, lighting, and decorating hassles too. This is High Flying Jacko. Call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
When was the first cruise ship voyage?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The first cruise voyage was on the Princess and Victoria Louise, which set sail on her maiden voyage in January of 1901.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tomorrow, 4 to 6 on 1010 a.m. Already looking forward to that, but I'm fired up for tonight. Baseball game, boy, LA's getting just big time pitching. They allowed, 1 hit, 3 hits in the first couple of games, and series back in Los Angeles at Chavez Ravine, pitching a premium once you get into the playoffs. Outside of Toronto last night, Guerrero Jr., 4 for 4 with a long ball. I think he's got 4 already on the year. But this is such a great time of year with the championship series going on in the AL and the NL. Hockey underway. Boy, Florida. I read today that I believe I read that just moments ago that Tkachuk is down. So, the two-time defending champion Florida Panthers dealing with a lot of early injuries here. But, that's all about survival in that league. Tough guys. Actually, it wasn't it was the other Tkachuk. It was Brady Tkachuk with the Senators, not with the Florida Panthers. So I do apologize for making that mistake. And, here we are, Dylan. I got to tell you something. I think this is the hardest game yet for the Jaguars to decide. We did our preseason rankings. I had them going 10-7 this year. So far, I've been right every week outside of who was the big win? Outside of Kansas City. No. I was wrong with San Francisco and Kansas City. Okay, so I've been 4-2 so far this year, but preseason I had LA winning this game.
Yeah, I had a poor start for the Jags, and I think they had the 2-5 at the bye, and I had them losing to the Rams. This game feels, I don't know how I feel about this one. No Puka for the Rams. The defensive line is really good for the Rams. Hainsey comes back for the Jags, which helps out a lot. I'd probably still lean the Rams. I think they're going to win this one, but it's going to be a very low-scoring game, just like every international game we've seen so far.
They have to run the ball. You've got to keep them honest. And, last week when we previewed it, we knew it was going to be tough sledding. And last week's game, I totally went the other way with it and said they're not going to be able to run. You're going to have to pass the ball to knock off Seattle. And, of course, it was a season low 12 points for Jacksonville. There's all this thought that this is it for Travis Hunter, okay? They are really going to feature him. And if you just look at his route tree last week, it was disappointing. I mean, he had the great 14-yard reception where he made a couple of people miss. Then the other 3 receptions totaled 1 yard. Now, I do like the fact that they're just finding a way to get on the ball. I'm not going to eliminate that. But there were also times where he was running patterns downfield, and I know the pass rush was just incredible on Trevor. But if you go back and watch it, there were times where Hunter didn't even have an opportunity to get his head turned back to the quarterback, and the play was over. So I don't know if that was because he was simply a decoy, if he's a rookie wide receiver and he's got to learn, some of the intangibles involved with being a wide receiver, or, 59 snaps, 7 targets. That's what you got. I'm expecting that to change with, some balls downfield, a couple of deep balls, a couple of, 12, 15-yard in more type of patterns. We haven't seen enough of that Even the 14-yarder was a short ball where he made a couple of people miss. Going back to the one he made a couple of weeks ago in double coverage when he went up and made that incredible reception, really showcasing his athleticism. Trevor plays well, internationally speaking, if you look at his individual numbers. Okay, 5 of his 6 games in London, he has had a quarterback rating of 90 plus. I think if he's 90 plus in this game, it should be enough to win, but it may take more. It may take deep into the 90s. He may have to get to triple digits. I mean, he's been 90 plus in now 3 consecutive games. Okay, did it against San Fran, Kansas City, and Seattle. And he's not turning the ball over. These are all really positives for the Jaguars. But let's get right to it, okay? The pass protection has really struggled mightily. I mean, just awful. And you have got a big-time defensive line with the Los Angeles Rams. Jacksonville has to run the football. Jacksonville cannot abandon the run. It made sense last week, and even Liam Cohen said after, I wish I did a little bit more. You gave it 19 shots. It wasn't going to happen against Seattle. Seattle was 3rd against the rush in the NFL. And even with those secondary guys out, they did perform well. This is not the same type of defense. This is one that you can take these ferocious pass rushers and make them honest by running right at them. Make them set the edge. Make them become two-way defensive players where you're running the football right at the Los Angeles Rams. So many things will happen in this game if that does take case. Number one, okay, offensive linemen love run blocking a hell of a lot more than they do pass blocking. Number two, you're going to dominate the time of possession if you can successfully run the football and, maybe get an early lead in this game. I think that's what it comes down to as far as I am concerned. Again, Jared Verse, 9 quarterback hits the last 2 weeks. Brian Young's got 7.5 sacks on the year. I also go back and forth and I look at Liam Cohen, who spent 4 years under Sean McVay. James Gladstone, whose 9-year career was in Los Angeles before becoming the general manager of the Jaguars. Who's favored here in that part of it? And, we keep hearing about how collaborative everything is in Jacksonville and how they all have say on stuff. I mean, I would think that this is the one opponent that James Gladstone is really involved. Not necessarily in the game plan, but just his overall thoughts on the Rams and their personnel. And we get the fact that it changes all the time, right? I mean, this league, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. I mean, Cooper Kupp's no longer there, right? Puka's going to be hurt. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, some of the great defensive players. I mean, Donald's gone. Jalen Ramsey is gone. Changes happen. So it's not like it's the same team. And I understand the defensive players that I mentioned have been gone for a couple of years. I do get that. But I think that can only favor Jacksonville. Unless unless Sean McVay is so incredibly smart and others who were there in that, staff and remain while Liam Cohen was there. Maybe McVay and others know his traits. Maybe they believe they can call the game that they believe Cohen is going to call. That if it's 4th and 1, they're going to go with Diami Brown on a reverse. Every time it's 4th and 1 and they go to Brown on a reverse, guess what? It works. We saw it in preseason. I think it was Pittsburgh. It was a preseason game. And I remember sitting in the press box saying, why would they show a reverse on 4th and 1 in the preseason? Well, I'll tell you why they show it. Because they run it all the time. It really should not be a surprise. So if it's 4th and 1 and the Jaguars are going to go for it, you know that the Rams, not only have they scouted this, Dylan, but they're almost expecting them to run that type of play.
Yeah, 100%. And if you go back to that preseason game, I felt like in that moment on that 4th and 1, he kind of wanted to send a message to everybody that, we went, because I think they got the ball first in that game. And although it was a preseason game, they want to send a message that, okay, we're going to be aggressive. And if it's 4th and 1, we're going to go for it, even when we have the ball in our own territory. And, having an assistant, be on your staff, you kind of know their ins and outs and their traits. And they might change a little bit, but you know a lot about that person that, the average person probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, I love the chess match here. People think, well, they're both offensive-minded coaches. Sean McVay doesn't know. Yeah, of course he knows. He's fully involved in what they're going to try to do defensively. I did see this as we head to the break. Sean McVay's offense has really struggled recently on 3rd down. We've talked about the Jaguars' struggles on 3rd down this year. It's been, just bizarre how bad things have been. Let's see, for the year, Jacksonville's 28-79, 35.4% on 3rd down. Remember, Liam Cohen's offense last year was number 1 in pro football on 3rd down, 50.9%. Right now it's at 35.4. Let me see. I wrote this down somewhere here. Involved with 3rd downs for Sean McVay. Let me see if I can find that. Again, the desk gets cluttered when they win, and I actually like when it gets cluttered. All right, here we go. 31.9% Sean McVay and the Rams on 3rd down the last 4 games. So making it on 3rd down is a big accomplishment for both of these teams. And I think that is going to be a massive part of all of this. Down in distance. There's a difference between 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 1. But both teams are well under par. I mean, if you were to tell Liam Cohen 6 games in that your 3rd down offense is going to be 35.4%, my guess is he wouldn't have believed it. And same with McVay now. The last 4 games, 31.9%. So just something to really look at. I mean, to me, it's got all the recipes of it being another low-scoring game where offense is really of the premium coming up on Sunday at 9:30. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 8 o'clock right here on this Thursday.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Hey, Jags fans. Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Jacksonville, it's football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Big news today, Kurt Cignetti, Indiana, becomes the third highest paid college football coach. 8 years, $92.8 million. It averages 11.6 a season. Therefore, you got to believe that Penn State or any other job that opens up, the Cignetti rumors will not be a part of it. I know there have been times before where coaches have signed and they still have moved on elsewhere, but not knowing anything at all about what happens in Hoosier land, I just got to believe that in the 2 years that he has been there, that to sign a deal like this today, he's not gonna move on and leave. I don't even know what the buyout is, but that is the big news today for the Jaguars. Good news: Robert Hainsey today has been gone from limited participation on Wednesday to full participation today on Thursday. So. Looks like the veteran center from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who missed last week's start, it was Jonah Monheim, who actually, performed well. If you look at Pro Football Focus and their grades, he was the highest rated offensive lineman. But they're going to go back to the veteran, not the rookie out of USC. So we'll see officially tomorrow on Friday, but very good news there, trending for starting center Robert Hainsey.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Man, we're getting some low-scoring games in Major League Baseball. Let's bring in Rafael Esparza. The Dodgers can pitch now.
Yes, they can. Their pitching has just been outstanding. I'm still upset that they didn't let Blake Snell pitch a perfect game the other day, but their bullpen is just well rested.
Yeah, I'm sure Don Drysdale and Sandy Koufax and, the late Don Drysdale, the late, Don Sutton and the late Bob Welsh and Fernando back in the days where pitch count was so irrelevant, but, the game of baseball's changed right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, but I think we've seen some analytics go out the window on this. I think all the analytics, that some cases in the playoffs, has bit them in the butt. So I just think sometimes you have to go with your gut.
Is there a series? If it's Toronto, Milwaukee, is that going to affect things at the window?
Yes, I mean, they definitely want the Dodgers in there. I'm probably guessing they probably want Seattle in it just to keep it here in the States. I mean, it's a little bit more star power, the big dumper, maybe MVP chase. I don't think Toronto will go well.
So what? We can expect these games to start for us folks here on the East Coast at what, around 10:05 each and every weeknight?
Take a nap. I mean, you can watch games.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't complain. I'm up all the time. I'm up till 2, 3 in the morning. I never complain about that. But I don't roll out of the rack at 6 a.m. as well. All right, so most of the money on the Dodgers. What about in the American League?
Seattle, a lot of money came in. Well, both overs came in today just because what we saw yesterday. A little bit shocked. I mean, the Dodgers scored quickly, run, and it's 1-1 right now. So it's been blanketed for the past 3 innings. I could see the Blue Jay bats continue to hit the way they were hitting yesterday. I could see this game going over.
Anything move tonight? Trey Hendrickson not going to play for the Bengals, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati, or is it basically remain the same?
Pretty much remain the same. The total has moved all the way to 45. I did see a 45.5 earlier. Don't forget this total opened up at 42.5, so it's moved 3 points at one point. I mean, we need Cincinnati and under just for the books to have a good day, but I think Pittsburgh wins. Where
are you with coaches being fired, coaches being rehired? I mean, did you send out Penn State, and where was Cignetti on that list? And after re-signing today with Indiana, how much did that affect things? I got to believe Matt Rule's the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, Matt Rule is a leader. Campbell was a leader as well. We had Cignetti on the list, but we already heard that Indiana was already working on the deal, so he wasn't high up there. There's some sleepers. I mean, Dan Mullen from UNLV, head coach, North Texas is head coach. Why don't you call Houston the head coach, too, who used to coach Tulane? I know his age might be up there, but if you want a quick win or want to recruit well, you have to maybe look outside the box.
Dan Mullen said yesterday he's not going anywhere.
They always say that when SEC money or a Penn State money keeps calling.
Right, and that's like a boxer saying he's retiring. Yeah, you can't believe that when it comes to a coach. Hey, Dylan and I were talking about it earlier. How's Vanderbilt a 2.5-point favorite over LSU?
Yeah, it seems weird. As Vanderbilt opened up at 1.5 and quickly got bet up to 2.5, 3. I mean, if you look on paper, yes, LSU has the better athletes, but they can't run the ball. They struggled against La Tech. They should have beaten Florida by 50 when a quarterback throws for 5 interceptions. I'm just not sold on this LSU offense.
All right, leave us with tomorrow night. What is your opinion on Miami playing host to Louisville?
They win, but I would hurry up and get that because I wouldn't be shocked if we see 14.5 for the U. I can see them winning but not covering.
Shame on me. I have to ask about the meeting across the pond where the unders have really been coming in, but it'll be 9:30 our time. It is the Jaguars and the Rams, both teams beaten up, losing some good players. Puka's not going to go, as we know, for LAR, and obviously Devin Lloyd out for the Jags.
Yeah, Lloyd, I think, is a bigger problem than having Puka out for the Rams. The only thing that bothers me is the Rams never went back home. They stayed in Baltimore. They've been practicing the Orioles stadium all week long before they traveled to this game. Jacksonville's familiar with what's going on at Wembley Stadium and how to deal with this. I like the plus points. I'm waiting to see if I can get 3.5.
All right, there you have it. Tell us about your show. What else is happening as well?
Yeah, do it Mondays and Fridays. You can catch me out at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find me on social media at VSI.Sports and X, Rafael Esparza on both Instagram and TikTok. And you can catch my show 5 days a week with Jonathan Coachman every morning at 10 a.m.
The coach. Love it. Hey, I never asked you, how much did Books lose on the Ryder Cup?
Oh, it was the wife's getting a good Christmas present this year. We'll just put it that way.
And that was dominant. I know they came back on that on the final day, but yeah, it was really out of control. Rafael, always a lot of fun. Thank you.
Take it easy. Have a great weekend.
There he goes, Rafael Esparza, ladies and gentlemen. Be in Vegas in a couple of weeks. I haven't been there in a while. It's been a year, March. Been a year and a half then. Since I went out. But I'm excited about that opportunity. I'm far more excited about the game coming up this Sunday and then a bye week. But we'll see. I mean, that game against Las Vegas will be a very, very winnable game. And I do think logistics come into play. I think the trip here to London can only help them taking the trip out to Las Vegas. I mean, they took a trip out to San Francisco, and they won a ball game. So, so far, all of that has been good news. We know the Jags, 5 weeks without a home game here, 1 week nearly complete. But certainly that is going to, be the case with the bye and then some road trips before they make their return here to Jacksonville. All right, let's put our final thoughts on this one coming up on the other side. Get you ready for Hacker Nation. He is going to join you tonight at 8 o'clock. I do want to remind you that during high school football season, on Friday, I am with you from 4 until 6, and that is on 1010. All right, it is the AM only. That'll be 4 to 6 tomorrow on Friday during high school football season. So that'll be the deal coming up on Friday. Get you set for the weekend.
1010XL is your home for play-by-play on Bishop Kenny football.
After 2 road wins, the Crusaders defend their home turf against the Buccaneers. Bishop Kenny First Coast, Friday at 7 on 1010XL.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
That's Rick Ballou. Small business owners need trucks, vans to keep your business moving. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside has Ram 1500s, the heavy-duty 2500s, Pro Masters, and custom uplifts that are ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go online to jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. That's Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
Yo, you already know it's your main man, E.T. And no one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails, served over ice balls, local craft beers, and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Rounded out with adventurous drink menus, second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree drafts. Check them out now on Atlantic and Kernan. Twin Peaks, eat, drink, scenic views. Come on, somebody.
Hey, it's Tommy Mack inviting you to join me Sunday morning at Monkey's Uncle for the big Jags game in London. Bud Light is bringing the beer specials, prizes, and chances for you to win tickets to a game. It's the Bud Light Watch Party at Monkey's Uncle on North 3rd Street in Jacksonville Beach.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season is finally here, and with that, hopefully comes cooler weather. And if you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
In a world where chains seem to take over, it's awesome to have a locally owned retailer who's only focused on Jacksonville. Beards Diamonds is the perfect example. Hicken here. All those jewelers in town center are owned by big Wall Street companies, but Beards Diamonds, they are local, man. Say hi to the Lupos when you get in there. They've been around and serving our area for more than 40 years. And Beards run circles around the big chains. Massive diamond inventory. Beards. All the top bridal brands. Beards. Strongest warranties. Beards. Beards wins on price every day. They don't have extra markups to please Wall Street or pay commission salespeople. In fact, Beards guarantees to beat any national chain store on price. So don't buy anywhere until you at least get a second opinion at Beards. I am sure you'll get a bigger, better quality diamond for your money, and it'll be backed by local folks with integrity and local accountability. Man, in a world where generic chain stores pop up everywhere, refreshing to see a local place that can give you a great diamond. Don't buy a diamond in Jacksonville without seeing your best option at Beards Diamonds. Shop local, shop Beards at the St. John's Town Center.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the Southeast to offer multi-unit hair grafting and the 45-minute PRP treatments. Grow your hair back. Call now for a free in-person evaluation. 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
One apiece, L.A., Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati tonight. No Trey Hendrickson as we go from MLB to the NFL. How about tomorrow night, Hacker Nation? We've got, well, do we bring, all right. Okay,
now,
there you go.
The 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Tomorrow night, CFL. I know it's a high school night, and I hate the fact that college football plays, but we had Tim Brando on. He's got Nebraska at Minnesota, and prior to that, you've got Louisville at Miami.
Yeah, and you got North Carolina at Cal at 10:30 tomorrow night.
Yes.
So it's going to be a full Friday night of football. Louisville, Miami, that's interesting. You think about Miami, they came off another bye. They've only played one game in the last 3 weeks, basically. They've already beat Florida. They've already beat Florida State. They're riding on top of the world. They go to play Louisville. I don't know. Does Miami have issues tomorrow night?
Nah, I don't think so, not at home. You know, I think if they were on the road, maybe. I mean, this is an amazing year in schedule for Miami. They don't even leave the state until November 2nd.
Yeah.
They go to SMU, so they go deep inside, the state of Texas. And then they have a couple of cold weather games late. At Vatech, they've already had a coaching change, and taking on a true freshman quarterback at Pittsburgh, where it's going to be cold in that NFL stadium. But that's basically it.
Yeah, you talk about that Cal, North Carolina 10:30 game tomorrow night, a nice little ACC doubleheader after Miami and Louisville. I know you're a night owl, but how many of your Florida State brethren are going to stay up Saturday night for the Stanford Cardinal at 10:30 kick on the East Coast?
I honestly believe all of them.
Yeah.
I think they'll nap. They'll do whatever it takes. I mean, they're diehard fans. They'll be ready to go. But I tell you what, for Florida State Nation, you got that game, which is going to end at 1:30 or something along those lines, and you have the Jaguars 8 hours later.
Right, and you're right about that. And the interesting thing there, to add to the subplot, what if Billy Napier gets fired in the middle of the Jaguar game Sunday morning?
Could happen.
Which certainly could happen, yeah.
All right, so what do you have coming up tonight?
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about the Wembley Stadium battle between the Rams and the Jaguars. I got former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts is going to join us. Also, we'll get the Rams side of things from Brock Vieira. He is their beat writer for Rams on SI. That's the Sports Illustrated website that covers the Los Angeles Rams. You and I talked about this briefly last night. Rams haven't even left for London yet. They've been in Camden Yards in Baltimore. They're leaving, I guess, tomorrow evening, getting into London Saturday morning / early afternoon, and then playing a football game, some 28 hours later. Two very different strategies between the Jaguars, who have been there all week, and what the Rams are doing.
Yeah, and I don't know what works better. I mean, they're professionals. They get used to this. It's always something that we mention, and I enjoy going over there on Thursday as opposed to going over there for the entire week. But, you talk with Gerald Ingram, and he told us about in 2007 with the Giants, Coughlin, they went over for a week. So I don't think it's a perfect set situation. It's a different philosophy, really, for every coach. We'll see who wins here, McVay or Cohen.
It's a big game. Both teams are 4-2, one of the better games on the NFL slate.
All right, have a fun show tonight.
Thanks, Rick.
That's Hacker Nation, and he's coming up right now. It's going to do it. Thank you to Tim Brando. Thank you to the Philly Godfather. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. Dylan Denmark is our producer. Once again, folks, Friday during high school football season, 4 to 6 tomorrow on 1010. That is AM 1010. A little static. I mean, the way radio is supposed to be, right? That'll be tomorrow, 4 to 6 on 1010. That'll do it, folks. Enjoy the games tonight. Listen to Hacker Nation, and I'll talk with you at 4 o'clock on 1010 AM on Friday.